Today I'm going to be trying to follow a makeup tutorial from 1969.
I found this YouTube channel called Glamour Days, and they post vintage tutorials from the previous decades.
Makeup has obviously changed a lot since then, from the tools that we use to the trends that we follow. It's not blending. Okay.
When I think about the 60s, I feel like I always go into the world of beauty. So I always think about Audrey Hepburn, we have Twiggy, Diana Ross, we have Cher. These women who have these beauty looks that kind of defined this generation.
They all had these really distinct beauty looks that have elements of things that we do today. So in researching for this video, I was really surprised to find out that a lot of brands that I see in drugstores today actually existed back then too. We've got Revlon, Almay, Maybelline, all huge in the 1960s. In the 60s, everyone used paler lipsticks, eyeshadows, and blushes so that the attention was always on your eyes. Eyes were the main focus. I'm definitely a little bit worried with how following this tutorial is gonna go. I don't expect it to be very similar to the way I do my makeup today, but I'm hoping I pick up some cool new tips and tricks somewhere in this.
Go easy, or the results can become ludicrous. Take advantage of what's there. Accentuate the good points. Minimize the others. Foundation is used as a base for the rest of your makeup.
Foundation.
Work the foundation from the center of the face toward the hairline using gentle upward strokes. Make sure it's blended evenly.
Okay, so step one is foundation. No primer, no nothing, so we're just going in. And she's also using her hands, and I'm already upset. I would never in a million years use my hands to apply makeup.
Blot off excess with a tissue. If you have disturbed skin, medicated makeups are available.
That was really gross to me. Like, I am just itching to get my beauty blender and start pouncing it into my face, but it wasn't so terrible.
Dark circles under the eyes are often caused by not enough sleep and lack of iron. To cover them up, use a foundation 2 or 3 tones lighter than your base.
Foundation as concealer is something I've never heard of, and I don't know if it's gonna work the same way. Foundation is just not as thick, I feel like. But let's see. I'm just gonna do a little bit more. I am extra sleepy and iron deficient. I think there's a reason that concealers were invented and why they've gotten so good is because this? No. It's not great. Also, like, what did they do? Get up and wash their hands every 5 minutes? I can't even imagine. Let's see what the next step is. What fresh hell awaits me?
Blush is applied to give cheeks a quiet glow.
So, we're going from concealing to blush. Blush is our third step, and I guess that I'm gonna have to ignore all this creasing happening and put on blush. Let's do some blush.
A good rule to follow is never let blush come nearer the nose than an imaginary line dropped vertically from the center of the eye. Blush should be applied from the center of the cheek outward and up into the temples. Blushes can also be used for contouring. A tone 3 shades darker than the foundation can be used to point up a cheekbone or diminish a wide jaw.
Using blush as a contour is something I've never heard of personally, but it gave me quite a bit of a predicament. I didn't know where I would find a blush deep enough or brown enough that I think would work as a contour, bronzer type of shade. So I actually found one in this palette that I got at Sephora, and it's a contour blush palette. And they have what I think to be a good shade for me to contour with, which is this first one up here. This one right here looks like it would work well-ish enough to contour my face. So I'm gonna use that and hope for the best. Still no setting of the under eye, but let's keep going. One cool thing about this is that contouring, even though it's definitely changed in, I think, the method of how we do it and what we use, it's still very, very popular today. We're gonna keep going. It just looks like I'm extremely flushed and or got punched in the face.
Powder sets and blends your makeup. The simplest powder to use is a colorless, translucent one. Pat on liberally. A tuft of cotton that can be thrown away is the best powder puff to use.
This powder puff method is actually pretty dang good.
Eyebrows frame the eye and focus interest on them. They are also important in the shaping of the nose. The color of your eyebrow pencil should be as close as possible to your natural color. Only the darkest brunettes should use a black pencil.
Since Maybelline was around back in the day, I have a Maybelline eyebrow pencil that I'm gonna use to kind of fill in and shape my brow just like she did.
The highest point of the arch should be a straight line from the outer edge of the iris. The tapered end of the brow should form a straight line past the outer corner of the eye to the side of the nostril.
Oh boy. Okay, so it says that my brow tail should form a diagonal line. It should end right there. That's way longer than my brow tail is. But this is where my brow tail is supposed to be ending, so I guess I'm gonna have to extend it. Give it some extensions. Oh, I think I got carried away. I just look like a villain.
Blend pencil strokes into your brow with a clean mascara brush.
It's like the world's tiniest hairbrush.
A lid highlight with a creamy pale shade is flattering to most eyes. Never wear bright, obvious evening colors.
Okay, so she said to use a lid highlight, which I feel like today's equivalent of that would be like a creamy eyeshadow in a paler, shimmery shade.
For contour and emphasis, a taupe or brown shade is placed into the lid crease and just above the lid. Eyeliner is used to make the lashes seem longer. There should be no hard, obvious line.
She said to get as close as you can to your lash line, so I will attempt to do just that.
Mascara makes lashes look longer and fuller. Incidentally, no amount of eye makeup will help if your eyes are drowsy and lackluster.
Hopefully this mascara will cover up my myriad of mistakes.
To be wide-eyed and alert, a full measure of sleep is necessary.
That's something that definitely doesn't happen in 2018 anymore. We're all tired. We're all sleepy.
The generally accepted age for wearing lipstick is about 14.
I am well past 14.
To apply lipstick, prop your elbows firmly on the table, supporting the chin with one hand while steadying the action with your drawing hand.
Okay, so there are a lot of rules on how to apply lipstick in this video. Let me get a lipstick. I think the technique of propping myself on the table and really like locking down and painting the lipstick onto my lips was way easier than applying it from the tube. So that's something that I think I'm definitely gonna be doing more and more often. So this is my final look. This is the entire 1969 look that I followed through a tutorial. And I have to say that I'm pleasantly surprised with how this came out, considering some of the very interesting methods that I had to use. It was definitely out of my comfort zone to try all these new ways of applying makeup, but I think that some of them were for the better. One thing I think we can leave in the past is using our hands to apply things. I just feel like there's so many tools now that you can use to apply, and I will probably never give up a beauty blender. That's just me. And it just gives me a better all-over application, whereas my hands, it's a little hard to make my foundation look nice and even and to get into these little crevices. And it's also just, it's gross. I don't want foundation hands. I don't think anybody does. I loved the blush application and the eyebrows. I'm pleasantly surprised with how my eyebrows turned out. I was concerned that I was looking a little bit cartoonish during the process, but now that I see the whole finished look all together, I feel like it just looks like a very classic, clean brow. I think that beauty and the makeup world have evolved in a major way when it comes to the products and techniques that we use, but there are still things that we can learn from the past for sure, because I was pleasantly surprised with how well some of my features came out looking using these techniques. I think that altogether, this to me is just very classic and simple and effortless enough to look good no matter what time period you're in.